Welcome to part one of my adventures in Africa. Boy, oh boy, you need to go on ahead and grab your favorite snacks, your favorite drinks, kick your feet up, sit back, and listen. Because look, I'm about to take you on a roller coaster ride, baby. This is some serious stuff. And all of it's true. And there's a part two. When it comes to moving abroad, people are trying to paint it as though it's just all glorious and wonderful and there's no problems and it's paradise. I think these jokers are getting paid. How about that? I have gone on people's platforms and I have made comments about the truth about what's really going on. And these jokers, they erase my comments. Like literally, they erase my comments because they want you to think that everything is all sunshine. You know, they blowing a bunch of sunshine, you know, up the other end. And I'm not here to do that. I'm here to help you actually to see that there's another side to what other people are saying about moving to Africa. A lot of us have actually experienced the opposite of what other people are trying to sell you. No place we go to is going to be perfect. And I'm not trying to say that everyone in Africa is a bad person. Not at all. I have actually met a couple of good people. A couple. So if you want to hear a raw version of what really goes down, then stay here with Brutally Honest, because I'm going to give it to you brutally honestly. And if my brutal honest is too much for you to handle, bye-bye. Then, because this channel is not for you, I'm straight up brutally honest, and I ain't getting paid. I'm going to tell you the truth. I was arrested for attempted murder.
Lend your ear, open your mind, you're gonna learn a lot about your past and yourself you didn't know before. The past affects your future.
A lot of people are contemplating moving to the continent of Africa, to the various countries as you see here on this map. Although they're different countries, different languages, food, culture, leaders, a lot of people are experiencing a lot of the same things. So I'm just going to be making this like a blanket post. I'm not going to focus on one specific country. You need to get all of the information that you can possibly gather before you leave your country or continent to go to a whole completely different continent with completely different cultures. Make an informed decision before you go by finding out everyone's experience. Not everyone is going to have the same experience. I'm not telling you these things to be mean or to say don't go to any African countries. No, not at all. It's just money is hard to come by. At least that's my experience. So I don't want anyone to end up using their life savings, sell their house and all their belongings, just to go to Africa thinking it's going to be one thing when it really is something completely different. So I'm just giving you my perspective on what I've been through in Africa. I saw someone post this on their channel, and I actually saw this the day that it came out because there's several different countries in Africa that made this list. And it's basically talking about violence against women travelers and then also people from the LGBT community. And of course, I'm a solo female traveler that has experienced violence that they're talking about. They were basically coming up with scenarios as to why the U.S. posted such a warning on their website. And they were saying, oh, maybe it's because they kicked them out. They're not allowing them to do gold trading anymore. And they were coming with all these other things. And I went through the comments and people are like totally clueless. And it's just like, first and foremost, there's a reason why they posted it. A lot of places can stone you to death if you're a part of the LGBT. I'm not saying necessarily in Africa. And there has been violence against women because they don't respect women. This is a patriarchal society that does not respect women. And they certainly don't respect a woman that is not married. And I'll get more into that later. So why can't there be violence against women in Ghana? Why not? And all the other places that it lists, these are the places that got the same warning as Ghana to watch out for. Okay, some of them are in Africa, but most of them are like Middle East, and then there's Colombia, which is in South America. So yeah, why do we have to make excuses? I mean, it is what it is. Like we need to really be honest in informing people on the possible dangers they can encounter when they go abroad to another country. Like we can't be sugarcoating boo-boo, and call it chocolate candy with powdered sugar on top. I mean, come on now. I look out for my viewers. I take this stuff seriously because, number one, I have daughters, and I would want someone to tell my daughters, to warn them of possible danger that they could be in, you know, even my sons for that matter. And I just think it's not cool with people pretending that everything is all peaches and roses and sunshine when it's not. And again, I'm not saying that my experience is everybody's experience, because it's not. You should at least be aware of some things that are going on with some people so you can make an informed decision for yourself as to whether you want to come or not to Africa. I think it's only fair. The people that shipped my things, number one, they were supposed to ship it, my vehicle and my household goods, all in the same container. Now, I kept asking them, well, you know, what are the charges going to be at the end? Like, what are all the different charges? Break them down for me. Let me know. And he kept saying, well, we don't know what it's going to be on the other end. But I told him, I says, look, I don't have an unlimited pocket. So you need to tell me how much I need to pay, so I will be able to get my thing. Oh, okay. You know, he kept putting me off. He would always say, just trust me. Everything's going to be okay. I'm not going to steer you wrong. I'm not. So people that I knew that were already over there, they were telling me, well, you know, you're going to have to make a list of everything that you have. Oh, and there's certain things you can't bring, you know. Now, mind you, my things are already packed up, ready to go, waiting for the movers to ship it out. So I went back to the person that was supposed to be shipping it, and he was just like, well, I don't know where you're getting your information from. That's not true. It came down to everything that the people were telling me on the other end that are in the country that I was going to. Yes, it's in fact. Okay, so number one, they're very, very dishonest because they're trying to scam you. So by the time I am ready to receive my things, then he tells me, they pulled everything out of your car and then they went through, and you just had so many small things. Okay, well, that was your job to tell me of everything that I put. You see what I'm saying? So it's very, very dishonest. Very, very dishonest. Same thing with my household goods. They were trying to dissuade me from coming to the port and was making it seem like I was causing problems because I want to be there at the port when my things come in. And from the port, he was saying that he planned to take my things over to his place somewhere, and the next day they're going to take it to me. You know, so they were, in my mind, I felt as though they were actually planning of ways that they can steal my ish. And so I went to the port. I'm just like, I have a right to go to the port to receive my things. So I get to the port, and this dude told me prior, you know, well, the space that your car was supposed to be in the container, we just put a couple of mattresses up to hold up your things. And that wasn't the case. There was a chick that was there. Of course, she was a local, and all her things were in there. Now, he told me there were a couple of mattresses. Oh, yeah, there were a couple of mattresses, and there was furniture, there were household goods, there was all sorts of stuff in there. In fact, my car actually could have fit in that space. So now, not only did I have to pay duties and all sorts of other fees for my car being in a separate container, then my household goods that was separate, you know, so I ended up having to pay fees twice for two completely separate different shipments when my vehicle was initially supposed to be in the same container as my household goods. So now it's a situation where the person that shipped my things is saying that he's going to sue me. Not only that, all of my furniture was destroyed. There was feces in my refrigerator. The legs were taken off of everything that had a leg, like lamps and furniture. Furniture forcefully pulled apart. Like I have pictures of all this stuff. I have photos of all this stuff. They completely defaced my property. I can't even use it. Couch that I had, it was completely torn up. Can't find the screws and nails that they pulled out of things when they pulled it apart and everything. So before I dropped my car off at the port, I filled it up with gas and I cleaned it really nicely. You know, so I dropped it off, backed it right into the container. So I get it back. The car is completely dented. The hood is dented in. There's dents all over the side, the front. The grill is falling off. The antenna was broken off. There were things inside that were broken off. The tank had no gas in it. There was food in the back seat. Okay. They pulled the hubcaps off of the car. Why you pull the hubcaps off the car? Why? They were broken. It's just like I had to pay to get all the dents taken out and to make the car back right again. And I was not compensated at all. I entrust you with my vehicle and you joyride with it. Like, who does that? And they said absolutely nothing. They broke all of my TVs. They all have cracks. And nightmare. So essentially, I can't even use anything that I brought with me. So that was a huge waste in itself. The whole housing situation was a nightmare. First and foremost, there are agents that take you to properties, and usually the property that's listed, it's not even available. They just hook you with that, and they show you a bunch of different properties and everything, and then you have to pay a fee and all that. And initially, I didn't go there to rent anything. I actually bought land prior to going there, and I was having a place built. Unbeknownst to me, right before I got there, I found out that the person who actually introduced me to the contractor was pocketing the money. I thought that I was just about finished building, and nope, the foundation wasn't even built. Even though the person that was taking my money and giving it to the contractor, supposedly, which he wasn't doing, said that the foundation, was up and all that. And the contractor, he even told the contractor not to tell me anything about it, and to tell him that he did in fact receive the money that I was giving him to give to the contractor. And the contractor did, but then things came to a head, and they ended up falling out because he kept telling the contractor that he was going to give him the money, but he never did. So this is how I ended up finding out, is because him and the contractor fell out. So when I got there, I had to stay in the hotels, and then I was ready to actually to purchase a home. I did purchase a home. I'm the type of person, I love my peace and my quiet. And even in the US, I had a rural property with a fence around it. I could hear the birds and other nature making their little nature sounds and everything. And that's the type of things I like. I love waking up to peace and quiet. And I found one that was by itself on top of a mountain. It was beautiful, and I wanted that. But he talked me into getting another property somewhere else, and was just like, look, you can open up some shops. Here's some shops over here, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of Americans over here. There's people from Europe over here. You're going to really like it. And come to find out, that wasn't true at all. There wasn't anybody from America, where I actually went and got the place, and I got shops to open up businesses. And that's another thing I find with them. They'll lie, just flat up look you dead in your eyes and just lie to you just to get you to buy whatever it is they're selling you. And they have absolutely no remorse about it. When you give these people your money, even if you put so much money down as to buy a house from them, they totally treat you like crap afterwards. Like they have no respect for you whatsoever. None. They literally treat you like crap after you patronize their businesses. Yes, this man has been very disrespectful towards me. He has yelled and screamed and hollered at me to other people. He has cheated me. I can just go on and on. Like, he has helped people extort me, and I'll get to that on a second video. Being a single woman going to Africa, it's nothing like America or the Western world, where you're accommodated and you're looked at with respect and everything. No, don't expect that in Africa. Don't expect it. I did several videos when I had my other channel, like 30-some thousand followers, about the Gambia, and how a lot of the women from the West were being unalived and their wealth being taken away from them and everything. Women are just not respected at all in Africa if they're single. And I pulled up this article stating, that marriage is highly rated amongst them, and unmarried women are generally frowned upon. I mean, it's the truth, and I have felt every bit of that. Trust me. And it's a culture that can be very oppressive, and it relegates women to inferior and painful positions. Now, how dare you go over there and you actually have money? Oh, they're gonna put you in your place, baby. Make no mistake about that, child. It's not easy. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll save that for another video. I bought a sign for one of my businesses, and before paying, I got a rundown of everything that they said they offer in the business, and the setup and delivery are one of the things that they offered. And I was like, cool. But if you go anywhere, all the people that make the 3D signs, they'll tell you that setup and delivery is included in the price. So I went on ahead and said, okay, cool, whatever. You go on ahead and do the sign for me. And so once they finished doing the sign, this dude gonna try to charge me for delivery and setup. And it's just like, yo, you told me that it was included in the cost. No, you didn't hear that. You didn't hear that. Oh, I heard that. The delivery driver came, and the GPS system in Africa is not good at all. It's not like the US, where you can put in an address and it's going to take you to that address majority of the time. It's like 90% of the time in Africa that GPS is not going to take you to where you're supposed to be. And so the delivery driver that was delivering my sign actually complained to me and told me that I owed him so much more money because it didn't take him to the right location. I told him, I was like, well, okay, that's not my fault. I'm sorry that happened, but that's not my fault, Now, before he even reached me, this dude was down the street. He saw me because I was waving to them, letting them know, hey, here I am right here. Way down the street, just yelling and screaming and hollering. It's just like, wow, is that really necessary? Like, here I am, a woman by myself, just yelling and screaming and hollering as if I'm not already intimidated in a foreign country, that I didn't grow up in. I'm by myself, and you feel like you have to yell and scream and holler at me at the top of your lungs? What is wrong with you? He was extremely aggressive towards me, and I just flat out did not understand his aggression towards me. And it came down to him telling me, look, the price just kept going up higher and higher for them to hang my sign. And I'm just like, I don't have that kind of money. I mean, I know you people think that everybody in America is wealthy, but we're not. And I don't have that kind of money to give you. Not to mention the fact that I didn't even want a sign as big as the sign that I ended up getting. It's because the owner of the signs, he kept telling me, oh, well, for all the wording that you want on the sign, we can't put that on the size that you want. So you have to get this larger sign and everything. I didn't want that larger sign. It wasn't even in my budget. But again, they think that everybody coming from other countries are wealthy. So, they can afford it. No, we can't. We're not all wealthy. They need to get this out of their head, first and foremost. They just try to suck you dry of every penny that you have everywhere you go in Africa, period. Because of this whole false perception that all of us are wealthy. So anyway, the signs ended up not being hanged. And I went back to my house. By the time I get the signs hanged now mind you, I had to pay someone to hang the sign. Both of the signs that I got from them. And one of the signs, all of the letters didn't light up. So I contacted them to have them come and fix it. And they're like, oh, madame, we're sorry about that. We'll come right out. So they didn't come. 3, 4, or 5 days later, they still didn't come. I'm calling, trying to find out, okay, you guys said you were going to come. And it just dawned on me. I was like, okay, so they realize who I am and they're not going to come and everything. So I immediately put a review on their business, online, because it's just like, this is crazy. Like your sign wasn't even right. I spent so much money with you people, and this is how you're going to do me? But that's how it is. After you patronize their business, like they act like they're doing you a favor by you coming to their places of business to patronize their business. Instead of in the West, we thank people for patronizing our businesses because they didn't have to come. There's other people who do the same things that you do. And so we are very grateful when you come and you spend your money at our business because you didn't have to do that. No, it's not like that there. It's not like that. They treat you like crap when you patronize their business. Actually, that's my experience. And my experience has been the more money you spend in their businesses, the worse they treat you. So anyway, I continued focusing on getting my businesses set up so I can employ these people, help them put food on their table and everything. And of course, the workers, they took their sweet time. You pay them and they won't come back. They won't do the work, or they'll have to do the work. After you give them money, you don't see them again for a week or two or even a month. And, so they delay. You constantly, they half do the... It's a nightmare. That's all I'm saying. It's a nightmare. I have actually had to pay people on top of the work that they've done to have the work done correctly. So I had a restaurant constructed, and after 2.5 months of not being given the keys to my business, I had to go to the police. I threatened them. I said, look, I'm going to go to the police if you don't give me the keys. I guess they thought that I was bluffing. And I did. I went to the police. And I immediately got a call from the person who is in charge of the workers. He was basically saying, that's not the way you do things. You're not gonna fit in well here if you want to call the police every time someone does something. But it's like, dude, I've been asking him for the keys for 2.5 months. What do you mean? You never thought about stepping in and saying anything about it when he wouldn't give me my keys. But now that I'm at the police station, you have a lot to say. So he told me to leave the police station, and I did. And the people at the police station said, well, if it doesn't work out, and you have any problems, come back and we'll handle it. So I'm like, all right, cool. Well, at least the police know. It's on record of what's going on. So they give me the keys. But I asked for them to change the locks because they've been holding on to the keys for 2.5 months since I bought the locks. And I never had the keys. I actually gave him the money and he went and bought the locks and stuff that accompanied, the key accompanied the locks. So I never had the locks or the keys in my possession. So I told him, I says, look, keep these locks, buy me new ones. You keep the ones that you put on here and give me the key immediately. And they wouldn't do that. He fought, oh, Americana, Americana, you know, making it seem like I'm giving them a hard time. I already know how y'all get down. What the locks changed. And so other workers, the head supervisor, whatever, came down and stuff. He's like, look, please, madam, just don't cause any problems. Just go ahead and move in. You have cameras. So just look in your cameras, you know, if anything's missing, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I'm moving very expensive things in here. I said, I don't want them stealing my stuff. I know. Just move it in. They're not going to bother it. They're not going to do anything. Just move your things in there, yada, yada, yada. So I eventually moved my things in, started my business and stuff like that. And less than a month later, these jokers stole alcohol. They stole equipment, sound equipment. All sorts of things. I mean, I'm talking about thousands and thousands worth of equipment and other things that they stole from me. So I threatened to go to the police. The person who I was renting the shops and everything from was basically saying that, look, you call the police on my people, I'll bail them out and I'll pay whatever fees need to be paid, but you're going to see what I'm going to do to you. And it's like, oh, yo, really? Oh, so you're going to threaten a sister. So you... and then, of course, again, he told me to take my A back to America. He didn't say A, but he just said, go back to America. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. You go back to America. And it's like, okay, yo, I'm the victim. Your people are stealing from me. And I'm just trying to get justice. I'm trying to get my ish back. And you telling me to take my A back to the U.S., back to America, when I'm the one that's been done wrong instead of rectifying the situation? They cover up each other's dirt, straight up. And someone of his stature, of his status, you would think that he would be on the up and up and would want to do the right thing, especially knowing that I'm coming from over there and there are a lot more other people who would potentially be coming here and I could refer people to your business. But no, you would rather be down low and dirty and shady. These people do everything they can to stop me from doing business. And when the business first started being constructed, they kept coming and trying to extort money. Oh, we want $1,500. And then that $1,500 quickly went to $3,000 of their money. And it's just like, okay, it's not on your land. I'm not bothering you. My business is not bothering you at all. And you want money from me? Why? What's the purpose? And so the person that owned the places, the estates and the shops was helping them take money from me. Why? Let's face it. Because you're a woman. And you're not supposed to have money. You're not supposed to be able to create businesses. You're not supposed to be able to purchase an entire top floor of a shop building to open up businesses to help their people. But isn't that what they're asking for? Job creation? I went to many different African summits before even moving over to Africa. They expressed the need for job creation. So I came out of retirement and I said, I can do that. I can help these people. I can create some jobs for them. And they have done nothing but completely sabotage it. So on one hand, you have the leaders saying, hey, come over and create jobs so our people can work. And when we come over here to do it, you guys bulldoze our businesses. You extort money from us. You do everything you can to sabotage us from creating those business opportunities for your people to be able to work, to put food on their table. Make that make sense. I guess that's only for men to do, not women. I suppose women aren't good enough. Our money isn't good enough to create jobs for the locals. Let me see. They bust the sliding glass windows to my door. They come begging for food, begging for provisions, flour and rice and all kind of things like that. And they expect you to give it to them. Like, these people actually act like we owe them something. They think we have money and they expect us to give it to them. And when you do for them, they don't thank you. They have actually complained about things that I've done for them. I remember getting one of them, cell phones, and they actually complained because it wasn't the cell phone that they wanted. Like, who does that? Yes. I had to put a sign on my business saying, do not come here for no free food. This is not a charity, the food pantry. I set up a business because I'm trying to make money. If I give food to everybody that comes in, and there's many, it's not just one or two people. I'm talking about every day. There are several different people who want me to just give them things for free. They feel entitled to what you have. They act like we owe them, So they burglarized my home. They think I have money. So they steal whatever they want. just take it. It's just that they just normal part of the day. And so the owner of the estate, I have a wall around my whole home. I have a electric fence. I keep it on all the time and everything, but there's power outages all the time as well in Africa. So I don't know how they got over that fence and broke into my home. Truly, I do not know. But it's the workers. You know, it's the workers. And then the owner had the nerve to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, not all my people are on as my workers. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah, thanks for bringing me here. I really wanted to be in that quiet house on the hill, but you're going to bring me here around a bunch of damn thieves and burglars and people who should be locked up. Those that were extorting me would constantly come into my restaurant, bother me. No noise, no music playing. And if the TV was on, the TV was very low. Okay, so like there was no noise being made, but they complained about everything. Customers are there and they're disturbing and everything. And so he kept coming saying the same things over and over again. And so I just told him, I says, just leave, please. I have customers here. You know, and he started to escalate and everything, and I started to escalate with him and everything. And I finally said, get the F out, you know, because I'm trying to cook for a customer and yada, 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 all this stuff and everything, you know, and you're disturbing me talking about nothing. Just go. We heard you the first 10 times you came over to the restaurant. Just go. Stop disturbing me. So his loudmouth girlfriend, she jumps in it and starts talking junk and stuff like that. And long story short, they bring a machete because they said I pulled a knife on them and everything, which I did not pull a knife on them. And he started chopping away at my business and everything, and telling me he's going to knock my whole building down. It's totally unnecessary, you know, for all this to be going on. It's plain old jealousy because, again, I did not do anything to these people at all. I did absolutely nothing. They're just jealous because they didn't have the money to do the things that I did. So I told him, I says, if you don't stop chopping away at my business, he had chopped some of the pieces of wood out of my business. And I was like, if you don't stop, I'm going to call the police on you. Well, how about them jokers beat me to the police? I'm working, taking care of customers and stuff. Next thing I know, the police are at my business, arrested me. Yeah. They came up with all these false charges of attempted murder, child. Yes, I was arrested for attempted murder. Yeah, that's how jealous these people are. They finally did an investigation and they found that they were lying, and they closed the case. You know, because when they were down there at the police station, you know, the mother, she was talking all kind of junk to me and everything. So I just said, okay, this heifer, she's not very smart. I said, so I'm about to trap her. So I just started talking and I was like, yeah, I know. Mr. So-and-so told me that you guys want some money. Yeah, and you haven't paid it. You know, so she admitted that they were trying to extort money from me. And you haven't paid it yet. And so one of the police officers kept telling her, shh, be quiet. You know, telling her to be quiet, not to say anymore. Because she already purged herself in front of all of the police officers and everything. So I think they kind of knew from that point that they were full of crap. And that they were just trying to steal money from me. They're just giving us just a hard time. Look, I'm here trying to create jobs for your people. And you people are effing with me to the highest degree. Totally uncalled for. So now at this point, the people don't even want to work for me anymore. Oh, your madame got arrested. Terrible person. So of course everybody in town's talking about it, and then the woman, after they dropped the charges and everything, the woman who was trapped in her lie, you know, of proof that they were trying to extort money from me, she's going around telling everybody that I'm sleeping with the owner of the estate. Like, I ain't never even touched that man's arm before. I don't even know what his arm feels like, let alone sleeping with him. Anyway, and saying, oh, she tried to murder my daughter. And you know, everybody in the town coming around, they sitting listening and stuff like that. And everybody in the town just gossiping about me and slandering me and all kind. Ooh, not pretty at all. Not pretty at all. So the next day I go to my business and guess what? There's blood all over the doors. There's 3 entrance doors to my restaurant, and there's blood on every last one of them. And I'm going to show you proof of everything I'm talking about in another video because this one's long. I just wanted to give y'all a rundown of all the situations that I encountered. And then the next video, I'll go ahead and upload the proof of everything that I'm saying here in case someone tries to say that I'm a liar. So yeah, they did witchcraft on me, threw it all over my business. And, you know, on a daily, they were threatening to bulldoze my building. And, you know, and the thing about it is the ones that actually had sense, they're just like, wow, your business is making this place look so much better. Because truly, it was just a bunch of weeds over there. There was nothing but a bunch of weeds where I built my restaurant. You know, and it was an eyesore. And so my building being there just actually brings a facelift to the community. It really does. But that's not the way they see it. So in part 2, I'm going to show you proof of everything these people did to me and more. Like, I didn't even mention everything they did. Just some of it. And it's 30 minutes long. So can you imagine? Oh boy, it's been an adventure. It really has. Small preview of what's coming next. Part 2. Here is blood. Yes, on all of the entrances to my restaurant that I had built. It's new.